Hello, this is Rockwell Schrock, CTO and lead developer of Remote Ham Radio. Today I'm going to give you a little demo of the Remote Ham Radio console, which is a primary interface where our users operate the stations and interact with the application. I presume you don't have any experience with ham radio terminology, so I'll try to explain things at a high level as I go through them to sort of give you some reasoning about why things are the way that they are. So this is what the user first sees when they log into the console. We call this the universal console because it combines all of the stations that they have access to. Along the left side here, you see all the different stations that a user can connect to. Green means the station is available. You can use it right away. Red means it's currently in use by someone else, so you can't take control of it right now. And then orange with a little cross symbol through it means the station's down for maintenance or connectivity issues, power outages, that sort of thing. You notice that some of these stations are repeated multiple times. This is because in order to sort of increase the utilization of a station, we let multiple people connect at the same time. So what we've done is we split these off into different frequencies so that the same physical location can be operated on different frequencies at the same time. So here at Eastport, we have 3 separate stations. Now this is 3 separate radios, 3 separate amplifiers, many, many different antennas you can select on each one, all totally split out, but at the same physical property. Jonesport here, we've actually gone even further and split it out into 5 stations. So again, 5 radios, 5 amplifiers, 5 or more different antennas that you can connect to. It all depends on which bands you want to operate, and that all depends on what time of day it is, the solar cycle, band conditions, what the ionosphere chooses to do at any given moment, where you're going to find rare countries depending on what frequencies they're on. So lots of different reasons for picking different frequencies. And so that's why we split them out to sort of increase the overall utilization there. Now each station is very differently equipped, and there's actually a station tab at the bottom here, which gives a little overview of what antennas there are at the station, where it's located. There's also an info tab up here, which gives you more information about the location and what's equipment is installed here. But as you can see, this station is Eastport. It's a beast. I mean, look, this is one tower with, I don't know, half dozen antennas on it, and the entire tower rotates, so you can point it wherever you want in the world. I'll give you a demo of that later. But yeah, so you can see through here as you click through the different stations, they're all differently equipped. And there's actually a really good overview on our public-facing sort of marketing site here, where if you go to the stations, you can scroll through and there's video, there's lots of great drone footage of all this property that that we provide. You can see these big towers. There's Ray climbing the tower there doing some maintenance. I mean, it just keeps going and going, right? This one, Phoenix, right? We have a partnership with this guy on the West Coast, so he maintains this giant hunk of aluminum, and so on and so forth. Now, because the stations are differently equipped, that means that when you connect to them, there are different rates associated with that. So at the top here, we've got our sort of A-list premium stations. If you were to connect up to this, you're paying $1.25 a minute, and we just track it up to the nearest second that you're connected. For a smaller station, like for example, Blueberry here, not as good a location, not as good antennas. So we price this between 49 and 79 cents a minute. In this case, you can connect at 2 different power levels. So if I want to transmit at low power, 100 watts, where maybe it'll be harder for people to hear me, I can connect at 49 cents a minute. But if I want to go QRO, which means full power, that's 1500 watts, that's 79 cents a minute. And then our cheapest station here is Chaplin. This is just a wire antenna in a tree. So this costs anywhere from 5 cents a minute up to 19 cents a minute. And this is only 100 watts. So let's get connected and make a contact here. So I'm in the Safari browser here. This also works in Chrome. We also have a native app, which is used for integrating with some hardware solutions. That's kind of out of scope of the video for here, but suffice to say, this works in a browser, it works on mobile, works on an iPad, works on a phone, works on Android. It's just a really, really fancy web app. So what I'm going to do is to hit connect. The station's available, it's green. Yes, you can have microphone access. Turn this down a little bit. And so what I have now is I'm on the 20-meter band, this 14 megahertz. This is actually perfect here. Let me work this guy. So what you're seeing here is a waterfall, which is showing you the entire band from 14 to 14.3 megahertz. All of the ham radio signals that are on the band that I can hear, I can see them here. And this is really cool because it allows me to basically point and click and tune in different signals as opposed to just spinning a VFO knob. So what we're going to do is we're going to work this guy, and I'll explain what's going on here in a second. So this guy is doing parks on the air. So he is at a national park somewhere in the country, and if I work him, he's going to get a point, I get a point, and then we get to log our contacts on this Parks on the Air website. And it's sort of just like a big competition. That's a fun way to sort of collect things and talk to interesting people. So let's see if we can talk to him.
Okay, what state is that? West Virginia. West Virginia. Yeah, I'm kind of watching something else there on the tablet. So, okay, thanks. Yeah, you came way up. It's I haven't heard much. I've dialed around, but
Gotta wait for these guys to finish talking first.
One here that's a reasonable signal. 7-3, good luck. 7-3, thanks for being out there hunting. If you could, respot me, I'd appreciate that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Here, we'll get right back.
We're going to blow him out of the water.
Yeah,
Ready?
We'll do that. 7-3, thank you. 7-3, thanks for being out there today in QRZ.
Whiskey, 1 X-ray.
Is that Whiskey, 1 X-ray?
Roger, Whiskey, 1 X-ray. Name here is Rock, Romeo, Oscar, Charlie, Kilo, and you're 5'9" here in Maine, over.
Hi, thanks for the 5'9" into Maine. You're also 5'9" into park number US 7009.
Roger, 7009. Whereabouts is that?
That's in Whiskey Victor, West Virginia.
Okay, Roger, coming in fine here. Good luck with the activation. 7-3.
7-3, my friend. Thanks for being out there hunting. QRZ, this is Kilo, Delta 8 Tango.
There you go. It's just that easy. So that guy's out in a park in West Virginia somewhere with a little wire and in a tree and probably run off of battery power. And we just gave him a contact. It's just that easy. What else can I show off here? We also do Morse code. Yes, Morse code is still a thing. Now, I'm not good at Morse code, but if I were a Morse code operator, I could have a conversation like this. Now, of course, I don't have a Morse code key hooked up to my computer, so I can only just type. And that is how you can do that. You can use predefined macros so that you can send canned messages without having to type it out every time. Because a lot of Morse code conversation is very predetermined. Like, you know exactly what to say and what the next person's going to say. So you can define a bunch of macros and just hit the function keys to transmit that. We also do have a hardware solution that allows you to use a real Morse code key, you know, like they did on the Titanic to send SOS back in the day, right? The guys still do that, and it's extremely popular. I mean, you can see all these little signals hopping up and down to the bands here. This is all Morse code down in this red area of the spectrum. Other cool things you can do is, so this is the map view. So you got this shows where we are, the pinpoint here. All of these lines here on the map view are what were called spots. So all the time while people are having conversations with each other on the radio, when they're finished, they will post on a public cluster, we call it. And you say, I am this call sign, I had a conversation with this call sign. And so we can actually see that here. And all these spots are aggregated into one big source, which we just pull from, and we geolocate all the different call signs. And then we map them all out, so you can see all the conversations that are happening in real time all over the bands. Different colors here, again, correspond to different frequency bands. So as I hover over these, you can kind of see here's somewhere in the Middle East talking to someone in the Caribbean. Here's somewhere in Brazil talking to someone in the US, and so on and so forth. This red sort of triangle looking shape, this is our antenna pattern, and what it's showing is where the antenna is pointed in, roughly the range of that antenna. So anything sort of in this area is where the signals are going to be the strongest. The antenna is directional, so it's going to reject signals from behind it, and it's going to amplify signals in front of it. Right now we're pointed towards, well, the U.S., so that's why you can see why that West Virginia station was coming in really strong, because we were pointing roughly in his direction. But let's say I want to go to talk to Europe. All I gotta do is hit this EU preset, and watch as this bad boy comes swinging around. Here's our heading, readout right here. Now, you notice it's turning really slowly. Again, look at our station picture here. This entire 120-foot tower is rotating right now, up in Maine, hundreds of miles from my location. A bunch of different presets here for different continents, as well as you could type in someone's call sign and it'll just point the antenna directly at them. For example, if I did OH8X, which I know is up there in, was that the Netherlands? You can see it dropped a pinpoint down there, and so now it's going to focus on them when it eventually gets there. There's a lot of metal spinning up there. What else? We also do this thing called FT8. I won't go into a full demo of this, but suffice to say, this is an extremely popular digital mode, which means that you can have a conversation entirely using data. You don't use voice, you don't use Morse code, you don't do any decoding. The software does the decoding. So if you listen to this cacophony of noise, right, sounds like an old modem. Those are all signals. Those are all conversations happening all at once. And so every 30 seconds, you'll see it spit out a new decode here. So see all these things here? These are all different contacts that are happening right now in digital. And I can respond to any one of these and exchange information. This is pretty much the gist of what it's like to operate the console. What else we got here? We've got a little chat. If people want to chat, sometimes they'll share when they find a cool rare country online. They'll go on here and talk to each other about it. We've got a logbook, so every time you make a contact, you can log it, and it's synchronized with third-party services that will track your logs and give you awards and all kinds of stuff like that. So we've got a logbook here with export functionality. I showed you the DX spot tabs. Again, this pulls in data from all different sources to see where all the contacts are happening. Station info. Yeah, this is just a third-party little iframe we shoved in here that shows upcoming DX operations, which is like rare countries that are coming on the air. So Namibia, Falkland Islands, Bonaire, Kosovo, et cetera, et cetera. These are the dates and information if you're looking for those to talk to those rare countries. We've got news bulletins. Yes, we had a fire recently at one of our stations and lost some gear. But any updates we make to the software or contests or special operating things, we can post about as news bulletins. Satellites, we don't have satellites at this station, but we do have the ability to talk to satellites. So that information would show up in here. And then we've got a couple of admin tabs here. I'll just show you those real quick. So normally you don't get to see these, but as an administrator, you can see all the active WebSocket sessions connected to the console right now. 46 stations, right? There's a bunch here. There's also some connected to our youth network, which is a totally separate network just for folks under the age of 25 to get on and operate for free. We do that to sort of promote youth operations in ham radio and get younger people into the hobby. So we give kids free access, and those stations are over in the youth network, which is a separate console. But yeah, so you can see we got 46 WebSocket connections here from the stations, and then right now there's 56 users connected. This is pretty low. It's the middle of a weekday. You know, all these people are just idling and keeping the tab open, but this will go up north of 100 very easily on the weekends. And yeah, then admins have obviously lots of back-end control for their sites to manage a bunch of hardware and stuff. You can see as we've turned our antenna now, the signals look completely different. You know, there's a lot more on the band towards Europe, a lot more operators there because it's near nighttime now, so those signals are going to be a lot stronger.
Good evening, nice copy. By Big Seal, you're a 5x8, 58 in Belgium, Roger.
Here's Belgium.
Okay, Radu, no problem. The name of this site is like Romeo Alpha, Florida, Florida. Thank you, Radu, for the contact from Romania. Best 73s and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye. 73 standby. Who is the station ending in Sugar Bravo, please?
Okay, so he's trying to talk to someone else, so we won't interrupt.
Yeah, Roger. Echo United Radio 5. Echo.
We'll see what's happening there, but you are going very
There's some
fine
good old boys.
in Sweden anyway. You're 20 dB over 9 there, and it's very quiet on the band, so I was... Sierra Lima, please make a call.
I could sit here all day and just do this. A lot of stations on that frequency. Okay, so this is what we call a pileup. So this is what happens when you have a rare station and the entire rest of the world is trying to talk to that guy all at once. That's a pileup, and that's when you hear all those people talking at the same time. All the signals kind of overlap, and it becomes hard to hear, but somehow they're able to pick out individual call signs from the mess. In fact, I can turn on spots here. We may be able to tell us who he is.
Negative. Kilowatt Ontario Lima. Kilowatt Ontario Lima. QSL.
Yeah,
I got you. Italy Victor 3 Kilo Oscar Lima. 5-9. Thank you very much. 10 to be 9. Ciao. See you your call.
What a mess. I can't even figure out what's going on there. Here's a digital mode again. Some kind of slow scan TV. So this is actually probably an image that's being transmitted like a fax machine. That's what that sounds like to me.
One and all that sort of stuff back in the day. But I just...
Lo que digo eso que a España era que la que más festejoteo por cada comunidad que sí.
Anyway, yeah, please let me know if you have any questions. I've just done a very cursory job of showing all the features here. This just kind of scratches the surface, but it does also show sort of the 90% use case. Guy logs in a browser, connects up, works a rare station that he wants to, and then logs off. And that's how most of our people operate. If they want to talk for a long time, they'll typically use the cheaper stations because they get through just fine. And, it's more affordable for people to have longer conversations there. As far as the back end of things, if I go to my account, now this is the Rails part of the application. This is totally separate, but I can see my, this is my logbook, my recent contacts. This is just some analytics to show some interesting things that have been happening recently. And then obviously our payment info is in here. We track everything down to the minute, right? Or down to the second, I should say. So here's our latest connection time here. It's already shown up in our billing. So here's the timestamp, the station, power level that we connected at. Here's the rate, $1.25, and we were connected for 12 minutes and 42 seconds. Now, of course, I'm an admin, so it was free for me, but normally this would get tallied up, and then monthly you would be invoiced automatically for that. We use Braintree as our payment processor. They are owned by PayPal, and we did that because a lot of our customers from our previous system were using PayPal, probably about half, and we didn't want to lose them. So we didn't switch to Stripe. We switched to Braintree, which does credit cards and PayPal support as well. I could talk a little bit more about the tech side of things. The console itself is a single-page web app. It's written in Vue.js. Nuxt, more specifically, is a framework we use, although we don't really use a lot of features from it. It's mostly just pure Vue.js, WebSocket connections, as well as GraphQL APIs to the servers. We use WebRTC for all of the audio. So when you connect up to a station, it's making a direct peer-to-peer connection to that station. We also have the ability with a third to use a proxy server called Stun and Turn. So if you're in a double netted situation where maybe I'm behind a firewall and the station is also behind a firewall, or you're, double netted or in a hotel or at a work, something where it's a weird network situation where you can't establish a direct peer-to-peer connection, we also will support that. So we can handle that by proxying it through a third server. So that all just works. WebRTC, and also the data will go back and forth. So as soon as I connect up to a station, now instead of relaying data through the cloud server, I'm going direct to that for all my station controls as I change all the radio settings here. We also use web audio a lot on the client side. So for generating the Morse code, right, that's all completely fake generated on the client using web audio, so that you get a real-time feedback on that, as well as being able to record your voice and play it back using voice macros, stuff like that. The backend for the WebSocket is written in Phoenix. It's mostly a headless server. It just handles WebSocket connections, passing messages back and forth, kind of like a message broker like RabbitMQ or Redis PubSub, similar to that, but with our own custom features in there. And yeah, the backend here is just purely Rails, and Tailwind CSS, nothing fancy here. It's just a lot of controllers and so on. So this video's gone on a little long, so appreciate sticking with me. Please let me know if you need any more details on anything. Happy to answer any questions, explain some things if I haven't gone in depth enough. Thanks again.